Good morning, my beautiful Cancers. We are here for a general reading. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Also remember, with this being a general reading, please do take what resonates and toss the rest. Also check out the other signs that are in your chart in case they may resonate with you a bit more. Otherwise, we are going to do a general reading for the end of February, and because time is fluid in tarot, it may of course flow over into March a little bit. We're going to use this deck, the Psychic deck, and the Guardian Angel deck in case anyone is interested for your clarifiers. But let's go ahead and get into it. Jump right in, shall we? All right, this top row is representative of how you're feeling now, what's going on in your life now. And then your second row here is kind of what is coming in the next week, 2 weeks type of situation. So the things that you can kind of be expecting, anticipating. So right now I see the Four of Cups in reverse, and that's letting me know that you've either had opportunities come in or you've had relationships come in that you are not hearing right now. So you may be on the outs with somebody, you may be on the outs with your romantic partner, you may be on the outs with someone in your family. You may also be having offers come in for, jobs, things like that, opportunities, and you're just not feeling them, not hearing them, or you're just not prepared to listen to them right now. But essentially, the fact that this is in reverse lets me know that you're still receiving these offers. I do feel like you aren't at the point quite yet where you're ready to receive them. But I do feel like you are listening. You are hearing them. You are trying to. So if you're in a relationship and this is a kind of a little bit of a scuffle you've had with your partner, a little strife you've had, you know that it's going to be smoothed over. It's not a situation. It's more, you may be just holding out for the win. Maybe you're one of those that just wants to get the last word, or you refuse to cave first. But you know it's going to be fine. I don't see this being anything. Like I said, it's something where it's in reverse. It's not an ominous card. It's like, usually it's an I don't want to hear what you have to say, but it is in reverse. So I don't feel that this is a full-on acceptance at this point. And I could be wrong. We'll certainly get clarifiers. But your next card is the Queen of Cups. And I do feel like that energy right there is part of what is letting me know that these opportunities that are coming in, that you're listening, you're hearing, you're sitting on your throne, and you are taking it all in. I feel like you are asserting your queenly dominance at this point, whether it's with your relationship, with your family relationships, with your romantic relationship, or with any opportunities, job-wise or otherwise, coming in, that you're absolutely listening to everything. You're hearing it. You're just not acting like you're hearing it. You're not having it, let's say, outwardly. But inwardly, you are hearing all of these things. And you know exactly what you want. You know what's going to happen in your mind. You've already kind of decided. You've made decisions. I feel that way. It's just a matter of, at this point, you're kind of waiting for the best opportunity, the best moment. That's what queens do, right? They sit, they wait for the opportunity that is the best for them, for their stability. And I feel like that's what you're doing at this point. And then the last card we have is the Magician in reverse card. And again, I feel like that's something where you don't feel like you have to do anything special at this particular moment. You don't feel like you need to apologize to anyone. You don't feel like you need to make any rash decisions. You don't need to make any rash moves. The Magician is someone who feels like typically they can make things happen. They can make a lot go on. They have all the tools at their disposal. They have the pentacles, the swords, the wands, the cups. They have it all. This being in reverse, again, with this Queen of Cups energy, okay, is making me feel like you feel like you're in a nice position right now to just sit back and kind of monitor, kind of allow the opportunities to keep coming in, allow other people to do what they feel like they need to do. If they need to brood, if they need to pout, if they need to do whatever they need to do, you feel that that's fine. You don't feel like you need to apologize. You don't feel like you need to jump up and do anything. You don't feel like you need to accept any, opportunities or offers right now. You are in a place where you feel like right now you're very comfortable and confident just allowing things to kind of naturally take its course while you monitor the situation from on high, from your queenly chair, because I feel like you do have that authority. So I do feel like, if this is certainly a strife relationship with a loved one, you're in no rush to jump and apologize and what can I do and how can I make this up to you right now. You're more kind of like fine with the way things are, settled, and hoping that they'll come around. And I think you kind of know that they probably will. But going forward, we have the Tower card in reverse. And it's underneath this Four of Cups in reverse, which lets me know that they do come around. Because instead of your tower falling, this is a rebuilding of the tower. This is you, kind of, I feel like this is where, you weren't hearing them, but you were hearing them, if you know what I mean. And now you're rebuilding it a little bit. You still may not be participating in the hearing them part, as far as, you're not groveling, you're not going to be super apologetic, whatever the situation was, you're not necessarily ready to jump and be like, all hands on deck, own my part or anything like that quite yet. But you definitely are in a rebuilding of the relationship there, and the emotional spectrum there. Everything is coming into a rebuilding phase, and you have kind of stepped back and let it do it itself. I think they realized that, you realized you didn't need to do anything, that they would come around, and they did. Because the next card under your Queen of Cups card is the Three of Cups, and that is a card of cooperation, collaboration, communication, celebration, togetherness. So I feel like whomever, whether this is a romantic love, a friends, family, whomever you are having possible discord with maybe, or friction with, or just not trying to listen to whatever they were saying to you, or hearing what they had said, maybe it didn't sit well with you, whatever it was, you've allowed them to come to you, and they have in their own time, and they've resolved it. Because I do feel like you are now at a place where you can openly enjoy being together again, celebrating, having some fun, enjoyment, happiness, celebration, cooperation, everybody getting along kind of thing. So I definitely see that. And I think that is certainly due in a big part with it falling right underneath this Queen of Cups. I think that is in a big part to you stepping back. I think you may have been trying to teach this person or these people a lesson that, they need to own their own faults, or, this may be something that happens more often than not. And that may be why, this is kind of something you're so used to that you're not used to, you're not going to keep allowing that, where you have to keep. That may be why this is in reverse. You are tired of having to deal with people bringing you, and you having to push it away because that they come with, faulty apologies or empty promises or empty apologies. And this time you just sat back and you waited until something was sincere. And I believe that be the case this time. The Knight of Wands in reverse. So the Knight of Wands is typically, that's a strong love or passion or intense pull, occasionally opportunities coming in fairly quickly. With this being in reverse, and with this being under the Magician card in reverse, I do feel like what this is it's not necessarily that the opportunities aren't coming in. It's that you're not in a place that you want to receive a whole lot at this point. I feel like this is something where you are just wanting to work on the relationships you already have, the situation you already have. Your goal is to try to get whomever this is that's been, kind of a strife, that you've had a little bit of an issue with, whether it's friends, family, or a loved one, could be coworkers even, but I'm feeling more definitely a personal relationship or a close friend or family member. And you're now at the point where you can just kind of truly believe that maybe they are willing to cooperate and mean the things they say more so. And so you're not really interested in any outside forces coming in, any outside opportunities coming in. Right now, you just want to kind of sit and enjoy this. Now, that's not to say you won't be, but I do feel like this is kind of an energy, and it could be an energy, too, with it being in reverse where, there could be some people that you've had to leave along the way here during this process, and they're trying to come back in, but you're not having that as well. You may have had to dispose of certain friends, just cut them off entirely if they were part of this drama, this strife, this whatever, because they didn't come around. They weren't the ones who came around. Certain ones did and certain ones didn't. And that may be, part of it. Some of those are now trying to come around, but you recognize that, you're not interested in what they have to say, for whatever reason. It took too long. They weren't really feeling it. You don't believe them to be sincere, whatever it may be. So let's get some clarifiers on these, please. Hopefully that'll shed a little light on it. But I do feel like you're in a much better position now with whatever this relationship is, whether it's a love relationship, a family relationship, friend relationship, much better position than you were. I think that, and they think they respect you more at this point, towards the end, because they've come to you. This time they've had to come to you. Maybe they were used to you always being the one who apologized, always being the one. They knew they could treat you anyway and you'd come back. And this time you held out. And I think that showed them something or taught them something. But so we have the solar plexus chakra. And I think that is, this is a healing type of thing. I think where you're trying to heal through this, you're trying to kind of get into your base chakra needs, your feelings that are making you feel like you are able to be in tuned with, what people really are about, what things are really about here. And I think that's what you're trying to uncover. And you're trying to uncover that by basically just sitting back and watching. And I think that's kind of what's happening here want you've been so active in any time there's been an issue or a conflict, resolving it, that I think you wanted to know what would happen if you didn't. And I think you do find out that it's a positive thing. The Queen of Cups energy, authority. And I think that's what you've done here. I think you're flexing the authority that that if they don't come back, then that's on them. And you feel enough authority in yourself and enough strength in yourself to know that, if they do come back, and they do take responsibility for some of the things that they do, then at that point, realistically, then you know that they are worth your time and they actually see your worth more than maybe they ever did before. And I do believe that's what's happening here, that, that's right above that Three of Cups where you are able to celebrate. So I do believe that's what's happening. How about the Magician in reverse? Material harvest. So again, I feel like with the material harvest, I feel like this is more so material harvest internally as far as abundance, like an abundant harvest of the people around you and the things going on, because you don't need to use all the materials at your disposal to, resolve these conflicts. You need to just kind of sit back and let things grow. Let it grow on its own. Let harvest itself, essentially, and let it harvest itself to come to you. Because that's going to be more telling than if you go out and apologize. You can apologize to people, or you can try to smooth things over left and right, and people most of the time will take that. Or they may offer you a, false apology, and you may take that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be legitimate. I think you've realized that over time. That's some sort of knowledge that you've gained over time of dealing with these specific people that we're talking about here. And now, the harvest here is that you're allowing it to take its course, to grow over time, while you just sit back, take your queenly authority and watch, see what they do when you aren't the one coming to them, when you aren't the one trying to be the fixer. How about this Tower in reverse? Emotional loss. So Again, I feel like this is something where you've disconnected emotionally. So you've lost emotion. You've had to disconnect emotionally from your gut instinct to apologize, to run to them, to, to fix everything. Okay. That's number one. But number two, my feeling with this too is, again, this falling under the Four of Cups, as I mentioned before. And with this Knight of Wands too, under the Tower upside down, I feel like it's possible there are people here. This may have been more than one person. This may be a group of people involved. This could be your significant other, but there's other people that are always in their ear, their friends that are always in their ear. And, part of this condition was that you needed to make sure that they could cut those people out of their ear if it meant losing you. Those kinds of things may have been what you needed to see. And there may have been some emotional loss in order to rebuild your tower, to rebuild your relationship. Or if this was a relationship with friends or family, you may have had to cut certain people out that just, you realize they only came back to you when there was you accepting their fake apologies over and over and over again, or you being the one to always cave and smooth it over. In which case you just decided that you were done with that, because if they were really caring, if they really gave as much into the relationship as you did, they would bring the same kind of care into resolving things as you do. So this Three of Cups here, we have deception and envy. And I think with that being under the authority here, the Three of Cups is the joy, the celebration. And I feel like the deception and envy card, what is that saying to you, being right next to the emotional loss card here and the Tower upside down underneath it? I think what that is telling you is, again, I think that is just more confirmation that there were people who, they weren't necessarily good friends to you. They may have been very envious of you, or they may have been deceivers of your significant other. They may have been friends, you know how it is. You have good friends that are like, oh, you don't want to be with her because they want your significant other to be their wingman or their wing chick or whatever. And so, that may have been what's going on, and that may have been who you had to cut off so that you could have this celebration with the specific small group here that you enjoy, that you trust, that you can be around and know is safe for you and comfortable for you. And it's falling under your authority. So you have the authority to decide who is good for you, who is bad for you. And you're making that authority, or that authoritative choice rather. And it all starts from back here when you start sitting back and kind of watching instead of playing such an active role. And this Knight of Wands in reverse. Material and spiritual prosperity. And again, I do believe that what that is that you are just allowing things to happen naturally now. You have surrounded yourself with the people you can trust, that you feel the best, with, that you believe are sincere. You've eliminated the ones that are deceptive or envious. It did cause you some emotional loss, or your significant other or your family members, that you may have had to cut some people off. But just by being able to sit back and not take such an active role and just see, who is it that really values you enough to come to you? Who is it that values you enough to really make a change for you? Do the things for you when you're not the one doing everything to make it work. Okay, when you're just sitting on your queenly throne, showing your authority, sitting still, watching and waiting, who is it that actually does do something for you? And that's going to give you the ability to decide to see people for their true colors, who's deceptive, who's envious, who's good for you, who's bad for you. And that's going to be where you're able to turn away any negative versus good opportunities coming in. And you allow your material harvest to do just that, harvest itself, harvest, grow, and there will be material and spiritual prosperity, and it's falling right under that material harvest. So I do, again, feel like once you've surrounded yourself by the right people, it's going to have positive influence on you completely. But this may be the first time you've ever done this. You may have always been a fixer. You may be the first one to always apologize. You may be the one to feel like you have to smooth everything over. You have to fix everything. And that just may be who you are. And this is a different tact for you. And it may be difficult for you. It may go against your natural instinct, but I do think it is something that is going to be very helpful for you in the end to see what people really will go to lengths to be with you, to have you around, to keep you, because that's going to show people's loyalty and a different side of them to you. Can we get some clarification here on this one? So underneath, remember, we had the Four of Cups in reverse and the solar plexus chakra, and you're looking for who you can trust. This is what this is. You're looking for who really does love you, who is really about you. And that's what you're trying to root out here. I do believe that. That is what your main goal is, who you can root out that really does love you, puts you first, who isn't just in it for hollow, apologies or, oh, well, as long as she keeps coming to me or he keeps coming to me and smoothing it over every time, I can do whatever I want over and over again. Who cares? But rather who really would go to lengths for you. Authority here, we have abundance. And again, you're the Queen of Cups under here. You have authority. You're feeling abundant. But that's what's going to bring your abundance is just sitting back this time. And if it is against your natural instincts, then it may be difficult again for you, but do that. Just sit back and wait and see if there's been a skirmish here, if you've had trouble, struggle, strife with anybody. Sit back and watch, see. I think you learn more just by sitting back and watching and seeing grace. So again, grace here is over top of the Magician in reverse. And grace is a card that is very, passive. Just be graceful, just be passive. Allow it to come to you. And I think that's very fitting here because, again, you're not pulling magic. You're not trying to fix everything again. You're not trying to use all the tools at your disposal. You're just going to be graceful and allow them to come to you if they choose to. And if they don't, then this on them this time. Okay, I think that's how you're feeling. And this may be something you maybe feel like now, I should have done this years ago. I could have probably saved myself a lot of trouble. And emotional loss and innocence being over the Tower upside down. And I think this falling under love here, this is exactly what you're having going on here. You're looking for those who are innocent to harming you, to hurting you. This innocence card is also kind of significant of a childlike naivety. So someone who is returning, someone who makes you, who really has that intention with you, to be kind to you, to be loving to you, to be considerate to you. And you may have to weed out some in order to heal and rebuild your tower. You may have to weed out some of the worst, the deceptive and envious people. You may have to do that to find those people, to have a return to a nice, innocent, childlike, peaceful type of relationship. But that's what you want. You don't want a layered with, chaos or drama or baggage relationship, whether it be friends, family, or, actual romantic relationship. That's not what you want anymore. And release the deceptive and envious people. You have to release them, or you're not going to have this Three of Cups. This Three of Cups is all about releasing the bad so that you can have this good. There are very good people in your circle. There are amazing people in your circle, but you may have some bad influences in your significant other's ear, or you may have some bad influences in your ear. You may just have some bad people in your circle, and not that they're even bad. They just may not have your best interest at heart. Because again, they want you to be their wing chick. Misery loves company, and maybe they're not the happiest person in the world right now. And so they want you to be with them. It's not that they do it out of just spite or evil or horrible nature necessarily. They're just envious that you have something and they don't. So they want you to be with them, hang out with them, spend time with them. You know how it is. Somebody gets, you get a significant other and your friends don't. Sometimes they don't want you to don't spend your time with them. You know how it is. And then on this one, we have Archangel Gabriel, and Gabriel is one who brings the news. They bring beautiful, wonderful news of bountiful things. And Archangel Gabriel is going to be, this is a Knight of Wands in reverse. And again, like I said, you aren't necessarily looking to receive anything at this time, but you're very particular. I think the reason this is in reverse is because you're going to be very particular going forward about what news or what offers or what people you accept in your life. And I think Archangel Gabriel is going to watch over that for material and spiritual prosperity. This is your Archangel card that's going to watch over this and say, you know, we're going to herald the news of what's good coming in, and we're just going to cut out any bad opportunities, offers, people coming in. You know, because we are here to herald the good news. We're going to bring you the positive people, the positive news, the positive opportunities, the positive, but we aren't going to bring in the bad. We're going to push the bad away. That's not a part of our life anymore. So I think that the ultimate overlying situation here is that you really need to just kind of step back and reevaluate, reassess who it is that if you don't do all the work, if you don't do all the fixing, if you don't put all the effort in, who is the one, or the ones rather maybe, that will put all the effort into coming to you. And that may be hard for you to do, is just sit back and do nothing. But I do almost think that that is the best move for you according to the cards today. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope it does resonate with some of you. If it does, please do like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff so it can get to our other Cancers, and hopefully it will help them. If not, please do check out one of the other signs in your chart. And I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.